or like some comment on the channel, what is your process as far as if this what if is? I mean, like, what do you think about all the suggestions that you do get?
All right. Well, I'd have to say the very first thing that I actually think about is for one, I look about who the what if's about because it could be a good what if, but if I'm already doing, let's say, what if Vegeta was the legendary Super Saiyan or something along those lines, and then somebody else like, what if Vegeta turned Super Saiyan against Cell? Even though those are both
Mm-hmm.
ideas, you could be a potentially good. If I'm already doing a what if based around that character, odds are I'm not going to be doing another until I finish, like my Bardock series, for example.
Right.
So, and then when it comes to that, I post a lot in the Discord, or I try to at least, and then so just communication really with the fans, see what they want to see. Really, that's what I try to do by polls, discussions, and all that on my videos.
Yeah.
So
So communication with the fan is pretty much paramount in order to run the successful what if YouTube channel.
I mean,
And
I'd say so. I mean,
hell
fan
yeah.
base is key. I mean,
Hell yeah. I mean,
you
that's
can't argue with it.
exactly. We gotta love our fans, and that brings us to today's StevDeScussion. Welcome, everybody, and welcome to the show, DragonStar Productions. Can I call you Trey?
Yeah, go ahead and call me Trey.
Cool.
I don't expect you to call me DragonStar Productions or DragonStar all
Awesome.
the way through. That might take for one, it might be good. It extra video time.
There you go. And
Extra video time.
he has compiled a list here, just like Heisenball did with his list, kind of like what Tulio did with my list, about 22 what ifs that you guys really want to see. And we're gonna hash it out here today on this Stev discussion. How you feeling, Trey?
I mean, I'm feeling pretty good. I've really been excited to do this because, as your fans know, I know for sure that we've been planning this for at least a little bit because
For
it
a
was in
few
your
weeks. It's been a few weeks. Yeah.
right, and just gotta keep getting one hassle after the other. But
Yeah. I mean that's life. You know,
right,
that's
especially
just life.
especially right now,
Yes.
especially right
Oh my
now.
god, with the way the world's going. All right, so let's kick it off with the first one. What if Zarbon turned good?
See, this one's always been one that I feel like everybody's kind of
I
thought about.
know.
Everybody's wanted because I know that I was kind of promoting the Dodoria. What if Dodoria turned good?
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I was promoting that in my last video is because I honestly wanted to do what if Zarbon turned good or what if Dodoria turned good. So the fact that I get to do this here is kind of cool. But
Yeah.
the thing is, the hardest part is I honestly think the only way for Zarbon to actually turn good in this scenario is if the person he came across wasn't Vegeta. At least the second
True.
go around. Like, he didn't get hit after Vegeta gets his Zenkai. If he never came in contact with Zarbon again, there's a possibility that Zarbon would be smart enough to actually be like, yo, is this right? Maybe at least if he was able to last until the Ginyu Force, you know what I'm saying?
Going along that logical path, I totally agree with you up to this point.
Mm-hmm.
Going along that logical path, if he had met, let's say he met Krillin first. Like, he didn't meet Vegeta. Vegeta had the Dragon Balls hidden. Gohan stole that Dragon Ball. Krillin and Gohan went to get their upgrade. And Zarbon, because he didn't have a scouter at the time, couldn't track locations. He got kind of kerfuffled with being afraid of Frieza. And he ended up coming across Gohan and Krillin first. Krillin and
Well, right.
Krillin and
Right.
Gohan have the techniques, so they could together they could probably match Zarbon's second form as
Well,
far as their
even
techniques.
Well, even if we're talking about power, just taking that scenario of how much, I'm not saying Zarbon's dumb or nothing like that, but
Mm-mm.
I mean he is the pretty boy, and odds are
He
the pretty
is.
boy they don't have the most brains, but they got enough that they know what's going on. But in
Mhm.
a scenario with Krillin and Gohan during Namek, they were very sneaky, they were very sly. It was honestly my favorite Gohan and Krillin of the entire Dragon Ball Z.
Yes.
Like I felt like that was them in their prime. I know that sounds crazy for Gohan. It's just my personal opinion. Anyway, but in that case, I honestly feel like they could have possibly tricked Zarbon, like Zarbon going, "Oh, well, you need to hand me your Dragon Balls or
True.
whatnot." And I honestly feel like Krillin and Gohan could have tricked and at least brought Zarbon with them. And then the more that Zarbon's going to see Krillin and Gohan, you could honestly kind of argue that Zarbon could kind of be playing double agent here, like he's just working with Frieza, he's getting these balls from the people. But with the way that our Z fighters are, and then as soon as Goku would show up onto the scene, and if just Vegeta, like I said, took out Dodoria, he would still get a Zenkai from getting beat up from him, so that doesn't change. The only thing that would be, Vegeta would be a bit weaker in this circumstance. However, that could be easier when it comes to the Ginyu Force, because that just means that he's going to get beat a little bit further. So it's possible you could argue that his Zenkai will be larger because he's weaker than he's getting beat by Raccoon. We still have Zarbon and Gohan and Krillin basically sitting on the sidelines while Vegeta tries to come in. Then I'd argue that Zarbon, instead of stepping in, I feel like that by this point he would see that Goku could easily whoop him if he's taking out the Ginyu Force. So it would turn more into a I'm kind of outmatched here.
Yeah, that's how it would be, and I imagine the point in which Zarbon turns good would be like he's fighting Gohan and Krillin, possibly Nail, because Nail is also with Guru at Guru's house. Absolutely. So he would be fighting those two, and then he would see the Ginyu ships and realizes that, okay, Frieza doesn't trust him to do the job. He called in the Ginyu Force. I got my back, like he turned his back on me. So I think that would be where Zarbon would turn good. As far as the rest of the series, I mean, maybe Goku wouldn't go, like, I don't see very much of a difference as far as the Android Saga, as far as the Buu Saga, as far as stuff like that.
Right.
As far as Super, as far as the Tournament of Power, I could see Goku go to Zarbon, get him, and he's the 10th member that comes in. And when Buu falls asleep, it's like, oh, well, we need a fill-in. Tien already said, well, I'm not interested, but if you need a spot, go ahead. And that's when Tien would come in.
Right. So, I mean, when it comes to that case, honestly, nothing really changes. Zarbon would be pushed to a side character. Mm-hmm. It would honestly just kind of help Krillin and Gohan during Namek, and that's it. And then we probably have a cool reaction whenever Frieza gets revived in ROF. But besides that, I mean,
there's not really much else as far as those kinds of characters.
Honestly, Zarbon, he might die then. I mean, I could see Frieza just flat out, like, as soon as he sees Zarbon's like, oh, you trade.
Yeah, and even if he died then, though, he would be brought back by the Dragon Balls because it was Frieza and his men. Right. So, you know.
Just for a little off.
Just for an off. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, kind of like what I did with What If Jace Turned Good, is Jace was killed by Frieza because he hesitated. So Exactly. So very much a similar outing on that one.
The next What If kind of fades in. It doesn't have anything to do with Frieza, but it does have to do with somebody finding Broly, and that is what if Turles found Broly?
Oh man, I odd story, and this is gonna be, some of my fans might hate me for this. The first time I ever watched Dragon Ball was the Tree of Might movie, and as a kid, I mistook Yamcha for Goku because all of my friends said he was the black-haired one.
No.
I thought Yamcha was Goku, and then when quote Goku unquote went down, I was like, "Who's this guy? Oh, he's so much more powerful than who is this guy?" And that's where my Yamcha love came from.
It's Yamcha.
So the first time I ever fell in love with the character of Yamcha, I thought Yamcha was Goku. So, but as far as Turles finding Broly, Broly would be would he find Paragus as well?
I would think it would be fair, and honestly, I don't know how old we would place Turles, or if we'd place him at the age of Kakarot, because since that necessarily we have to make him canon.
They're about the same age.
That's what I would assume. So in that case, he wouldn't have any recollection of Broly, Paragus, or anything like that. But he probably would have the recollection of Planet Vegeta and all that.
So if Turles found Broly, would the argument be made that the Tree of Might would be planted on Vampa?
Possibly. Or they would get off of Vampa due to the environment. And, Paragus being in the Planet Vegeta, army, and then on top of that, also being a part of Frieza's army, that he's aware of other planets and all that stuff. And if Turles has a ship to where they can get to where they're going, odds are they can maybe either, one, go back to Planet Vegeta and find out that it's been blown up, or two gonna find out a planet that they know have a good bit of life forms and stuff like that, to where they could take advantage, and to where Turles could actually create his crew, his his Iron Squadron, or I think Armored Squadron. Yeah, Armored Squadron is what they call it. Maybe he can make that up, and then Broly would actually be the head commander, due under Paragis's reign, obviously. But Turles would basically, I don't want to say would become king, but in a way, almost would. But I honestly feel like to have that happen, we need to put him on a planet to where somebody is going to find them, impact it in some way. So it's got to be a big planet.
It's got to be overall, a planet full of stuff that the crew would want.
Right. So then I would honestly see them kind of laying low. I don't see we wouldn't see much of them in Dragon Ball, besides if we talk about them training, them doing probably Galactic, basically almost a revival of Planet Vegeta, just with King Turles is what I'm thinking.
Right.
With, like I said, Broly as his sidekick who basically fights on command. And you could already already imagine power levels too, man. Like power levels are gonna be skyrocketing.
I was gonna say like he would probably know Broly like as soon as he sees Broly's potential in action, because I imagine Broly wouldn't go without a fight. He's kind of brutish like that. As soon as he sees Broly's potential, I'm going to say that Paragus is part of the package. Like, Paragus and Broly would be on Vampa, and they would get picked up by Tarble. I want to say Tarble because it's a T name saying. Turles and his crew would pick them up, and he would see the potential in Broly, see how much of a powerhouse he is, and realize that, okay, you know what? We're Saiyans, we're pirates, let's just take a planet that we can use, and we'll use the Tree of Might as our method. We don't have to send babies, because there's no females among the group, and rebuild the planet. By then, Turles would absolutely know that, oh, by the way, Paragus, Planet Vegeta's gone.
Right, so that would instantly relieve all the pressure and all the anger and everything that Paragus had, so he would actually be able to actually run and control. However, the first big change, I feel like, actually comes to Battle of Gods, because I honestly think with the Tree of Might and with Broly's Rage, maybe, just maybe, Turles and Broly are stronger than Goku at this point.
It's possible. I wouldn't say Turles is, because, like, looking at the scouter that Chilai used, she read Paragus's power level at 4,200. So I don't think, like, if Paragus, granted he's an older man, granted he was far stronger than when he was aged, given the kind of power gap between him and Broly immensely, like exponentially growing apart as far as that power, I doubt Turles would be able to keep up with Broly, but I imagine Turles would get more powerful. I'd say maybe second form Frieza powerful. Because he doesn't know what the Super Saiyan is. He doesn't know he doesn't know anything having to do with anything but the Tree of Might giving more powerful. And that brings up that question, would Broly be eating fruit from the Tree of Might? If that's the case, we're dealing with a far more dangerous Broly than in Dragon Ball Super. We're talking Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta probably wouldn't be able to stop him.
It would definitely be up there. Like, it would be insane, especially if you consider that he does come in contact with any of the Z fighters, which I honestly feel like this could honestly be a really good topic, like actual what ifs to break down and actually do. The scenarios are honestly endless, because it all depends on when Turles and Broly come into contact with Goku and the others.
Exactly. Is it during Z? Is it even during Dragon Ball? Is it during Super? Like, there's so many different timelines you can put this on. And that's why I like doing the StevDeScussions, because you and I are just two people. We have limits to our mental our space as far as what we're thinking about as far as what ifs. That's why we love the fans, and we love when people suggest this stuff, because it could be stuff we haven't even thought of. Like, when I brought up the fact, would Broly be eating the Tree of Might fruit? You had a great reaction there.
Right. I mean, that's something that you would never think about. Because like, if you think about it, like, 10 years ago, you're looking at it, it's like, yeah, Broly eating the Tree of Might? Nah, it's wrong movie. Totally can't happen. But then you put it in a what if, and it's a brand new Broly.
It's a brand new world. It's a whole new world.
That one's kind of Oh yeah, we might have to
We'll
discuss
think
that
about
one at a
that one.
different
We'll
time.
think about that one, definitely. Moving into the next one, what if Android 19 turned good? The fat, pasty white blob man that Jiro built.
Honestly, I think the easiest way to do it is for after Vegeta kills him. Like honestly, after he kicks off his head and does all all
Yeah.
that stuff, instead of flat out destroying him,
Instead
he
of
just
getting him
kicks
blown
off his
up.
head, leaves him there. Yeah, instead of blowing him up, he decides to just leave him there. And
Mm.
in doing so, Bulma takes it as okay. This is a robot. It's a 100% mechanical robot. Why not use it to her advantage? And she makes it a personal slave at Capsule Corp.
I, you know what? I like what you did there, and this is another thing that I stress on the channel. I'm not gonna do a what if it's been done. For support on that one, people have asked me to turn Nappa good, or what if Nappa survived? Give Nappa. I'm gonna say this right now, and I hate to break the hearts of some of my fans. I will never do a what if Nappa on my channel. It has been done to death. So when it comes down to 19. I like what you did there, but this is a differing opinion right here, and that's why I love these StevDeScussions, because I would start it somewhere different.
Bird,
After
you take it.
after 19 got Goku's energy, because 19 had that good taste of Saiyan energy. I would say 19 would have a power trip, right? And
So he would, after absorbing his energy, he would basically crave a fight more than wanting to necessarily kill Goku.
yes, and thanks to his data, who's the most powerful? And keep in mind, we know that his data is flawed, but they don't. And they, especially Gero, doesn't know how flawed his data is. So, upon getting Goku's energy, realizing, oh my god, nobody else has ever tracked into this, who's top dog right now? We have Piccolo, we have Gohan, we have Goku's gone, we have Vegeta that hasn't shown Super Saiyan yet. And we have any other Z Warriors that are currently there. He's gonna turn on Gero. And Gero is the most powerful clocking in according to Gero's data. So he would get Goku's energy, and everybody would be confused as hell seeing Android 18 completely turn on his maker. That's the kind of power trip I'm talking about there.
I mean, that's the thing with me. I do robotics, or I did, especially in high school. On a little bit after I've done a little bit of schooling.
Ooh.
Plan on actually getting a robotics degree. So
You're going by the law of robotics on that one.
So I understand in 100% in life that when you're sitting there making a robot, that there's malfunctions, that they miscommunicate. And for an actual example, I used to make fighter robots, right?
Cool.
And I made them through a sensor. So whenever they would get near one of the other robots or something like that, it would more by the either the sense of it, going up to it, the look. It was really just to make it, basically to dumb it down. Whenever it would get near anything that looked like a fighter bot, it would basically attack. And one day I was wearing some Under Armour gym pants, and they were gray, and they had like the black stripes going up them.
Yeah, yeah.
And I turned my bot on, and it attacked me.
So it attacked you because it sensed it had that sensor.
Yeah, and it's because it felt the heat, and that's what it's generating.
Ah,
It's normally inside the ring, but in that case, it's kind of similar because it Android 19, after getting Goku's Saiyan blood, he's like, okay, well, we got to fight the strongest one here, So
very
in doing
interesting.
so, Gero, I mean, with this one, there's also a lot of different scenarios, but I think at the end of the day, the overall picture still comes out the same. Because if Android 19 was to turn on Gero, like right then and there, then we would have to look at the aspect of, okay, yes, the androids wouldn't come out, but Cell would. But the odds are, after Cell realizing that they're not as strong as what they were, he would try to give them 10 days. Arguably, you could say that they would go back into the hyperbolic time chamber, and they would basically learn everything they learned, and it would go over the same.
Yeah.
Or you could take it with Android 19, like I said before, maybe not making him a slave, but honestly, I don't see him becoming as relevant as necessarily some of the other Z fighters. However, having him there to maybe absorb energy and stuff like that, because being a robot, I'm not 100% robot.
Especially in the
I'm
Tournament of Power. Good God.
right. Right. It would come in very, very good just to help drain here and there. Even if he was to get eliminated just a little bit, he would be able to easily take out, like, if he just got a hold of Dispo when they were fighting, like when Gohan held on to him, just a little bit of energy, just small stuff like that would make a big impact in the Tournament of Power.
Right.
But besides that, honestly, I feel like I said, he's going to be a capsule slave. And I guess you could kind of argue that Bulma could have done the same thing in this scenario. Could have been like, okay, well, what's Jiro's energy absorption, and what if she was just able to simply make a generation to where they could put it on their bodies, just where it went inside, small stuff like that it seems like it'd be really big, but it's honestly not inside Dragon Ball, when they literally have basically everything in the snap of their fingers.
Oh, what if, I mean, like, okay, if I know this isn't on the list, but this makes me go down another path. What if Bulma scavenged the energy absorption and put it on 16?
Honestly, if we're gonna take this route, I feel like he would. I feel like Android 16, he would lay low. I don't think he would fight. I don't see it happening. Honestly, he would probably be a freaking co-ranger with Android 17 on his island.
I could see that.
If I'm being honest,
he likes the birds.
So if you take that into mind, I feel like honestly it would be a good look, and it would also kind of help explain 17's growth and power. Besides, if you don't take the manga into aspect, that is, it kind of gives you a little bit like, oh, that makes sense why he would get stronger, or it makes sense why he would improve his skills and stuff like that. I don't know about how
might we get Super 17
in big fights, dude. Because I don't know about having Android 16 though in the Tournament of Power. Mm-hmm. I honestly think he would stay back. Yeah. And stay out on the island and watch it. He'd
follow Gohan's orders.
And the only reason why I don't feel like the Tournament of Power would be a good place for him is because in big fights, he blows up.
True that.
And the last thing you would want is for one of your own to actually destroy themselves, because him being a robot, I'm sure it would be easier to be brought back, but at the same time,
That's what actually I just did with Chaozu in What If Chaozu Survived the Saiyan Saga. I just did that against Jiren.
Right. But my thing about Android 16, though, if you bring him back and you wish him back, are you wishing back his programming? Is he staying the same?
Is he going to remember who he is?
Right. So there's that's it's a fun scenario when it comes to androids. Yeah. Especially Android 19, 16, heck, I guess even 14 and 13.
I'll say this: the Android Saga seems like the most creative saga for whatevers, as far as Z is concerned. Because there's a lot of stuff in Dragon Ball, there's a lot of stuff in Super. But
I totally agree. Yeah. I would say right after that, it's most definitely Namek.
Yeah, but it's the mid part of Z that we can get the most creative.
So I guess if we want to get out of both talking about Z, the next one talks about GT. What if GT was in the Tournament of Power? How are we doing this?
I mean, you're kind of mashing GT? Up two timelines here. It's
right.
I imagine
this is one of my most requested one-shot what if.
This is your most requested one-shot?
It's one of them. People want to see GT.
And you know what? I don't blame them. Super Saiyan 4 is actually kind of cool.
But honestly, if we look at it, and I might write this down just so I
definitely
up with my people. So that's what I'll do, just so we don't overlook. Because I feel like a cool thing would possibly be to replace Universe 6. But if we were to do that, then it would be GT replacing Universe 6.
And we'd have too many of the same characters.
Which is a whole different one.
That is, whoa. That's like saying, okay, what happened different? You know?
Right.
It's...
Or we could take one of the lesser,
one of the universes, one of the universe that got knocked out immediately.
Well, we can't do the one that got knocked out immediately because of the doggies,
Oh, yes. You gotta love the puppers.
So, I guess it would have to be... Or we can just say that Zeno decides that he's going to let one more universe compete.
Or one more timeline compete, I guess. I
Well,
don't know.
we'll say GT in this what if is its own universe. It's
Fair
its
enough.
own.
I think that's the simplest way we're gonna get around this.
And that way, this being a discussion, it's not we don't have to worry about it. And that's also one of the reasons why I didn't feel like it would be very good in a one shot, but it'd be something very fun to talk about in a discussion.
Yes.
So I guess for starters, on the team we have Goku, Vegeta. Then we would end up having, I guess it would be Majub, right?
Yeah, Majub would be there. Pan would be there.
Majub, Pan, Goten, and Trunks.
Would Gohan train again?
Well, it's said in GT that Goten, at least in the Baby Saga, not Goten, Gohan in the Baby Saga, that he never stopped his training. He didn't train as much, but he never stopped.
So he stayed fed.
Arguably, we could say in this timeline that this Gohan could potentially be strong.
Yeah, we could also bring Piccolo, because like Piccolo didn't die; he just stayed in hell.
Right.
So it's like he just stayed in hell because he felt like, well, there's no Deborah, so I will be literally Demon King Piccolo.
Right.
Yeah, and he was holding off Cell and Frieza until Goku showed up, GT, which was interesting to see, to say the least.
Considering that the entire time in the series, all we see is Piccolo get smacked by those two.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, he had his little bit of shine in the Namek against Frieza.
Are you writing down the names? Because I want to be sure we don't go over 10 people.
Right now we have Goku, Vegeta, Majub, Pan, Goten, Trunks, Gohan, Piccolo, which puts us at 8 people.
So 2 more spots. Would Roshi still? I mean, Roshi.
I'm thinking. I'm thinking maybe a little bit of a Legic.
Ooh, so you're bringing? Yeah, actually, yeah. I could see Legic.
Well, you got to think of the people. I don't see Roshi coming in. He's a lot older in GT. I don't see Krillin coming in. He's a lot older in GT. However, we do have Android 18, who did show us that honestly,
she can still hold her own.
Honestly the only bright side. One of like 2 only bright sides in the entire Super 17 arc. So honestly, she could be something cool, and she would still have. It would be cool to see 18 and her counterpart, plus is a little,
Yeah.
You got 2 Android 18s.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Yeah, that's very interesting. That one.
So and then that would be the team.
That would be the team. Android 18 and
Legend.
And Legic. Yeah. Those would be the 2 spots. That would be one hell of a team. But as far as holding off against everyone else, I still think it would be down to Jiren, because purely for one reason: God Ki. I imagine that's another reason why you didn't really tackle this one, because God Ki being introduced blows regular Ki out of the water.
Right. I feel like even if you want to place Super Saiyan 4 on a high scale, I feel like at top you can only place it at Super Saiyan God.
Yeah. So Super Saiyan God is still trumping 4.
So then, if we want to say then that we fuse them, they go Vegeta and Goku fuse. Well, congratulations, you're competing with Blue, and then if you really want to talk, then you're competing with Blue Evolution, Blue Kaioken. So even Gogeta Super Saiyan 4 isn't competing. True. However, I do feel like seeing a Goten and Trunks, maybe them fusing. That would be kind of cool.
Because that is a technique. That's totally allowed by the rules.
Right. So I definitely see them using more of their techniques. They would definitely be the 3rd team eliminated. They would make it, I feel like, with Universe 11 and Universe 7 right there with them. However, when it comes to the overall picture, I just feel like even if all of them made it, even the whole team somehow managed to survive, they wouldn't be able to get past Goku, Vegeta, Android 17,
Android 18 as well. I mean, if she landed that long, and Frieza.
You're right.
So I mean, I granted Goku GT handled Frieza and Cell, but
this is a completely different Frieza,
because Frieza earned and that's another thing. That's one of the stupidest things. Golden Frieza's on par with Super Saiyan Blue. That's why. It's not even God Ki, and yet Frieza can achieve this.
It's honestly crazy. Just Frieza in itself.
Yeah.
Like
Frieza is an enigma. And
Frieza is a what if.
Frieza is a what if. Let's just put it like that.
No, like that's what Toriyama does. He's like, that's how ROF found me. He's like, what if Frieza was revived? Resurrection F?
There we go. What if Frieza could, in fact, achieve God Ki with just training? Resurrection F!
Hey, what if Frieza found Broly?
Oh my god. Well, he did.
You see what I did there?
Yeah.
See what I did there, though?
Yeah.
Broly movie.
Yep, there we go. There we go.
So, when it comes to that, I honestly feel like GT, yes, it would be cool to see. It would be cool to see, Super Saiyan 4 taking on Super Saiyan God and stuff like that. But overall, they're simply outclassed. I mean, if you want to say,
they are.
Yeah, they could probably take out some bigger names like a Ribrianne, like Super Saiyan 4 Goku versus Ribrianne.
Oh, I could see that. That'll be interesting.
Or maybe a Super Saiyan 3 adult or teen Gotenks.
Yeah.
Versus Dispo, maybe.
Oh, you know what? Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, or rather Super Saiyan 2 Gotenks, because I would imagine he would want to be on par. He wouldn't go Super Saiyan 3 until afterwards, but Gotenks versus Caulifla. Or Kefka. Kefka it is.
Right.
Fusion versus Fusion. That would be interesting.
And then Legic would probably be, you imagine him. Imagine his amazing way to take out the sniper.
True, that would be interesting.
Small stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then simply having Pan go Super Saiyan in the Tournament of Power after watching Goku get nearly beat, or watching her dad get nearly beat, something like that.
Yeah, Super Saiyan Rage, kind of like what Future Trunks ended up getting.
Yeah, that would work. That would work for her. Having that moment. That's what,
I mean, as a baby, they needed a Super Saiyan for the friggin' ritual, so
right, and that's what it would more be about if you really want to think about it. I mean, honestly, if they want to go right in the beginning, if Universe 7 doesn't want to play no bull crap, maybe then this is a completely different scenario. Goku and Vegeta inform the other ones about the Super Saiyan God ritual, because right here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So at least after the Tournament of Power, they would be aware of God Ki. So then if there was ever a rematch, then we might have a completely different ball game when it comes to GT.
Plus, if Vegeta had got God Ki by himself, who said that Goku GT couldn't?
And then just the knowledge of, that they would be around a Beerus, and that Beerus seeing that, that Beerus or whatever has God Ki. I know that sounds weird, but
that Beerus, whatever that god of destruction, it might not be even Beerus.
You get what I'm saying.
Yeah, whatever that god of destruction is there, because it could be a different god of destruction. It could be someone completely different. I mean, you see the different gods in every universe. It's like it doesn't have to be Beerus.
Me.
It could DragonStar God of Destruction. What is his name? It's Trey.
Don't mess up, because it's basically just more of a fun ending than a
right. Okay, so let's move on. Let's not ruin that. Number the fifth question. What if Goten trained with Whis? I'm pretty sure. Did Masako go down that path with What if Nappa would turn good? Because I know Goten has a bigger role in that one.
I'm honestly not 100% sure, but I'm also pretty sure though Salad Saiyan just did something very similar. Like, what if Goten trained like Goku?
True.
So they ended up training with Whis.
True, and with how evil Trunks ended up being in my Majin Vegeta scenario, I'm totally not doing that. Nope. Goten's not training with Whis.
Right.
Maybe.
So, I honestly feel like if they want to see that one, he did a pretty decent job, because I think he enjoys fighting. So I think him training wouldn't be an issue.
The biggest hurdle to get over for that one is Chi-Chi.
Right.
That's the biggest hurdle to get over that.
Because, yeah, she pushes him to be, she pushes him to study and all that stuff. But the hardest part about it is if we're looking at Goten and Super, or even Goten and GT, we're not looking at much personality.
We're not. I mean, And even then, like and this is why I try to avoid starting my timelines in Super. The Kid Buu what if, that was kind of, okay, what comes after the Buu stock? Well, it's Super. I can't really just not run into that. Again, with the Majin Vegeta one, what comes next is Super. Reason why I don't want to start with Super as often is because there's not a lot to cover. So,
I mean, and that's absolutely true. I mean, because, for example, like I mean, I could break this down really quick. Okay, Goten trains with Whis. Okay, question is, when does he start training with Whis? Okay, one, they could do it before the Tournament of Power because they need another member, so they plan on having Goten and Trunks train with Whis. Or it could be the scenario of Goten training with Goku as soon as he goes to Whis' planet for the very first time, saying that he's going with Chi-Chi because he asked Goku about training and going with him and all that stuff. It happened in, I think, the episode 4 of the anime. Don't quote me, but
I'm not gonna quote you.
But I'm pretty. I recently just watched it because I was looking at something for another what if, so I seen it, and so you take that into mind. You know, the Potofu arc, maybe they can handle copy Vegeta.
Yeah, you know, maybe they could handle that,
which makes that arc better.
It does. I mean,
I felt like that arc was a high B, maybe a B+ arc until Goku and the others got involved.
So let's say Goten trained with Whis before the copy Vegeta thing happens, because that's about where I'm at. I've heard the stories about copy Vegeta. I haven't seen any of those aliens yet, but I'm at the point where Goten and Trunks are discovered in the back of Manaka's vehicle. When it comes down to Goten training with Whis, maybe that would encourage Trunks to train with Whis, seeing how Goten, like kind of like how the Kid Buu fight happened. Vegeta was there supporting Goku because Goku had Super Saiyan 3. Well, in this thing, it would be an exact mirror of that. Goten is getting support from Trunks because Goten has had the training with Whis and is holding off copy Vegeta. That would make that arc a lot better.
And then the eyes of just simply,
exactly, yeah.
Trunks being like, I can't help. It's my dad. I can't do anything.
Yeah, that would knock him down a peg and make him a much more.
Also, copy Vegeta because he takes the feelings and stuff of the actual Vegeta.
He doesn't want to fight Trunks.
well, he's not going to want to fight Trunks, but he's also going to be disappointed because Goten's fighting him and Trunks is sitting on the sideline.
Maybe he would go easy on Trunks, knowing how much of an energy gap it is.
I don't think so. I think it would be the opposite. I think copy Vegeta would beat Trunks down when he got the opportunity, simply because Trunks wasn't stepping up. He wasn't training like Goten. Goten surpassed him.
I agree with that one, and also and in general, I don't like Trunks as a character. I'm going to put that straightforward. I don't like Future Trunks. Same. I don't like Kid Trunks. They're characters that have very little purpose other than they're cool. That's it. They're characters I don't like. So having a copy Vegeta scold Trunks in a way that the regular Vegeta has not done yet. Right. Would make Trunks a more likable character. And again, they would probably be in the Tournament of Power. We already discussed Gotenks versus Kefka would be absolutely baller to see.
Right.
As far as that's concerned. So that would be about how things would go, I'd say.
Right. We'd end up in the same predicament with Gotenks taking on Kefla. So.
Yep. To the next one there, Trey.
What is it? What if Krillin married Marin?
Not much else would change, I don't think. Other than, not having 18 as part of the... I don't know.
Because necessarily she would still be alive. Because who's to say that Krillin would still not push the button, maybe just after seeing that she is a person, she is a human, knowing that.
Yeah.
I still feel like Krillin would be sincere enough to be like, even though, he's got Mary, he got a...
It's the Krill dog, man. We love Krillin for that.
Yeah, he could just be like, you know what? If things don't work out with Marin, I might be able to hook up with 18. but in all reality, though, like just Krillin being the person that he is, I don't feel like he would want to destroy Android 18
Right.
after seeing how scared she was from Cell, seeing these human traits inside of her. Krillin's not gonna be like, boop, you dead.
On another note, though, would 18 be more social? Because I imagine, like, if you're going down this path, Krillin has married Marin. It's working out. Let's say it does work out with Marin, and 18 hung around to hear, can you at least remove the bombs from them?
What if Yamcha shot his shot?
Ooh, so you're saying Yamcha gets his family with 18?
I honestly think it could happen because if you look at it, I mean,
if Tien still lives with Launch after all these years,
I mean, right? I mean, he could that could be another scenario too. But I mean, maybe Krillin's kids though, because I feel like he would have kids. Because in his little daydream that he had in filler, he had kids. I would say his kids would probably be more likely to fight and want to fight. So this is another scenario where we could get a stronger Goten and Trunks.
You know what, kids? There's more people if you want to fight, then I am your master.
So I mean, with this one, I honestly don't feel like nothing much changes. But besides maybe Marin
being like
maybe in Super. Maybe Marin cannot, after, Krillin loses his confidence in martial arts and all that stuff, not thinking he's strong enough because of, how big Goku is.
She would be supportive of the cop job,
Right.
Because as we know from typical, human versus superhuman, or in this case, Saiyan, as far as the marriages are concerned, Bulma wishes Vegeta was out more. We had that vacation, the family vacation, early on in Super, and Vegeta was a good dad that time. And we also have Chi-Chi wanting Goku to support, the family, getting the job and all that. The Saiyans are learning to be more Earth's acceptable version of husbands. So I would see Marin follow very much the same path as Chi-Chi and Bulma are, in which they want the man's in, even though the husbands actually, they're superpowered. Krillin is not a regular human in any way, shape, or form. But I would see her be like, yeah, Krillin is a married man. He's got a life to worry about. And it would be Krillin that would be like, well, it has to do with the survival of our entire universe, and I care about you and the kids. And there would be a little rift, and Marin would have to get over the fact that, okay, she married an extremely powerful.
Krillin would be like, well, it's kind of my job, just universal.
It's kind of like being a universal. I mean, you saw that alien guy that Bulma was talking to the other time when that other alien guy came to Earth.
Dude. What if Krillin joined the Galactic Patrol?
Okay, I answered this in either the last one or the first one. What if Jay's turned good? The GQ Force is pretty much doing that on Earth.
It's
gonna be good. Trust me, when I get around to that part, it's gonna be good. Kind of like this next suggestion with how good that is. Which is, what if Jimmy Firecracker exposed Mr. Satan?
This one, I'm not gonna lie. This one, it didn't start off as a fan suggestion.
Oh.
I posted this on Twitter forever ago, just as like a funny theory, and ever since then, I've been getting comments here and there dropped only one particular person, but he keeps commenting. It's on every other video.
So it's already a what if that's going on Twitter.
Well, right, and okay, so
just give us a synopsis about what happens. I'm interested.
Let me break this down. Okay, so we all know Jimmy Firecracker was there during the Cell games.
Jimmy Firecracker here. Yep.
Okay, so Jimmy Firecracker, he's watching, he's observing, he watches Hercule get smacked in the next week. So what does he do? Jimmy Firecracker, well, he climbs on down there and he keeps watching the fight. He sees a blonde-haired dude, taller blonde-haired dude that is, comes in to fight. He doesn't know his name, but he hears people calling him Goku. So as he starts watching, he starts getting closer and closer just so he can get full proof that Mr. Satan is not the one fighting Cell. And in doing so, he ends up watching Goku quit. And in shocking fashion, he watches his son step up to battle. So Jimmy Firecracker's on the sidelines.
Ladies and gentlemen, the orange hillbilly has sent his only son to fight the monster Cell.
So and everybody watching, they're seeing firsthand that their hero isn't who they think it is. Right before their eyes, in this very moment, on live TV, that Hercule, Mr. Satan, isn't their savior. He isn't he isn't, worthy of being the world champ because he can't even beat a simple bug monster. Mm-hmm. And I honestly think it would be okay for Jimmy Firecracker to get closer because I don't feel like Cell would honestly want to kill him. I feel like Cell...
Sounds like he's going to die with the Earth anyway.
Right, and then on top of that, he gets the publicity of scaring everybody like how he warned him of the Cell game.
Exactly.
So he's just... If anything, he's just living up to his hype.
Okay, so
like
post Cell games, would he do digging and find out that Goku, because he heard Son Goku, he would do digging and find out that Son Goku, because as a child, King Furry knew who Goku was, and as a child, King Furry knew that King Piccolo was defeated by Goku. Is it going down the way that he does his digging and finds out, oh my god, Goku was the guy that killed King Piccolo. Oh my god, his son has his power and was able to stop Cell. No wonder the child was able to do it. He's the son of a legend.
However,
the
story so bright doesn't end so bright. Well, I guess it does end in one big bright flash, but that's because after Jimmy Firecracker exposes Mr. Satan, then the Sun family loses all privacy that they had. Goku's house, what's it called?
Mount Paozu.
Shooting a blank, dude. Shooting a blank. And when they go up there, his house is no longer private. Gohan can no longer study for school because the paparazzi's there. He can no longer move. People want them to train them, which Goku likes it at first, but then he realizes that some people aren't really wanting to train. They're not willing. And this doesn't irritate Goku, but it makes him not want to be around. He wants to train by himself. He wants to grow stronger. So that becomes issues where Goku isn't the hero that Mr. Satan was in the timeline. He didn't suck up to the fans. He didn't do that. Even though he wasn't bad to them, he wasn't what they wanted him to be. And the same goes for Gohan, who simply just wanted to be a scholar, be like every single but didn't get the chance to. Wow. That creates the Sun family to fall into depression. But not only that, it also means that, with that being said, the people of Earth wouldn't look at Goku and Gohan as the saviors like they look at Mr. Satan. So when Majin Buu does come about, there's no saving because they won't get enough energy to defeat Kid Buu for the Spirit Bomb. Therefore, Kid Buu eventually, after his long rampage,
he wins.
He gets rid of the entire.
Boo wins!
There's no more. Beerus wakes up. So Jimmy Firecracker exposing Mr. Satan literally
ends the world.
It literally ruins Dragon Ball Super.
Oh wow! So if anybody wants to go along with that, link is in the description for Trey's Twitter. Go ahead and dig that out. I'd love to see that over on my Discord. Fun fact, I drink diet green tea because everybody at work kept taking my actual green tea, so I learned how to drink diet. And nobody liked it. No, it's good though. I'm like, I love this diet green tea now more than the regular. But what are we talking about? Are we talking about drinks? Or are we talking about Dragon Ball Super? Here we got another one, another scenario here. What if Hit killed Goku?
He did.
Yeah.
He punched him. Actually, he punched the air. And Goku died.
Yeah.
And he brought himself back to life. So this is a scenario that kind of happened. And if you want, what if Goku actually died? Well, Namek has Dragon Balls. Boom.
Yeah. Namek has Dragon Balls. Plus, I imagine Whis would be like, well, so Beerus doesn't put an end to this planet because I like the treats. It's been proven that Whis can bring people back to life. Frieza.
Right. So,
what if Frieza got brought back to life?
So whether any three scenarios you take this, Goku's still alive.
Yep.
So I mean,
So-
I guess if we want to talk about Goku, then we could talk about him in the next what if being what if Videl trained with Goku. I don't know how Gohan is gonna feel about this.
well, okay, Goku kind of. I imagine some what ifs where Goku survives up to seeing Videl and Gohan together. Goku would be like, "Hey, you want to train together?" Well, it's like freaking goofy ass mouthful. We could train together, and your girlfriend could.
Well, because if he was alive during that scenario, during that time period,
He
then
totally would.
That he would be the one probably training Videl to fly. He would probably be the one doing the stuff because, for one, Goku, although he's dumb in Super, he wasn't in Z. So I feel like honestly he would be able to figure out enough that Videl's been his son.
Yeah.
Because I mean, what else does Goku have to do? I mean, yeah, he's going to be training, but like if he's alive, he's going to be trying to trade with Gohan while he's trying to go to school. It's just Goku. You know it's going to happen.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, you can skip today, and Gohan's be like, I can't. But Videl's going to be like, oh, why is your dad following you to school?
The only thing that I see in that scenario, honestly, is she might do better against Popovich.
Maybe even beat him.
Maybe even beat Spopovich. Like, that would be the only thing, but I don't see much else coming from that. Just she trained with Goku.
I mean, and that really doesn't change anything. Pan would potentially be stronger.
Maybe they would have another child. I don't know. Because, the Saiyan genes in Gohan would still be like, oh, she's a strong woman. That's hot.
I mean, it would, it'd be a cool scenario to break down. Like, maybe if like her and Chi-Chi fought together, like maybe her training and stuff like that.
It would just be a fun sort of, oh my god, this happened. Oh my god, this happened. But I don't see that travel very far as a whole what if.
It's more of a fun one.
Yeah.
Well, I guess because that one's short, I guess we can go ahead and fade into the other one. The question number 10.
Yeah, go for it.
What if Spike the Devil Man was a Z fighter?
And you know what? Was this one of your fans that suggested this one?
Yes.
Okay. Thank that fan for me. If you're watching this video, fan who suggested what if Spike the Devil Man was a Z fighter, thank you so much for suggesting this, because I actually covered something like that in the last StevDeScussions, me and Kaizenball. What if Goku learned the Devil Might Beam? The main difference here is to replace Goku learning the Devil Might Beam with Spike the Devil Man. Frieza's dead. Chances are Vegeta's gonna die because he's still evil at the time. Nappa's probably gonna die. Anyone that's evil is going to die.
True. Piccolo, dead.
Piccolo ended up turning good. And
the thing is, it would have been King Piccolo. It wouldn't have been Piccolo, so he wouldn't have had the rebirth. He just would have died.
Yeah, and there would be no Dragon Balls, therefore.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
There's,
but why do you need Dragon Balls? Can kill anybody who's evil.
Exactly, and life on Earth would be relatively peaceful until Zero came along.
Goku never. But even then, the cyborgs, you could argue that they would be able to defeat them.
True, they are technically living things.
And then you would still have the Lookout, so they could still potentially train. And likelihood, if one of them were to die, I'd still feel like maybe they could get access to King Kai, possibly train. And with Kaioken, maybe with constantly training, maybe they could defeat the androids. I mean, it could be, with Jiro and 19, it could be all over with, to be honest.
Exactly. And I want to bring up something. I believe Kaizenball said this in the thing. I don't know. It was one of us that said it. Giving someone just a kill switch just would make the series a lot more boring.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
So what if Spike the Devil Man was a Z fighter, or what if Goku learned the Devil Might Beam? I feel like Goku wouldn't use it as often, but Spike would abuse it to the point that it would be more boring than the previous scenario I mentioned.
Well, right, because I don't see Spike, because...
Yeah, so he has no conviction with using that technique.
Right, so when it comes to that, I mean, he threw it at Goku, like, with no shame. Just
twice!
Threw it at him. Right, just, like, it didn't work the first time. Let me try it again.
Yeah,
so like, yeah. If he throws it twice at somebody who he knows is true of heart due to throwing it the first time, even if he doesn't know, like, then he's gonna, the second you hit one of his friends and he knows that you're in trouble, that he knows that they can't beat you, yeah, he gonna throw it. It's as simple as that.
Exactly. So it would dumb down a whole lot of the conflicts that we see over Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball GT or Super. Like,
Like I said,
either path.
unless the only way that I don't see it happening is if Dr. Gero, which I feel like he could possibly be killed because he would be a cyborg as well. However, for Android 19, him being a robot is possible it wouldn't work on him because, well, he's not a actual living being. He's mechanical,
Yeah.
So possibly Android 19 could be the ruler of the.
Possibly Giro wins, and then again, like I in a previous episode, and this is why I want to thank that person for asking this question, because it allows me to say, well, in a previous episode we talked about this, and in the previous episode we found out if Giro is left to his machinations, then Future Cell, well, technically Future Cell, quote, future unquote, Cell shows up, he beats Giro, he gets his perfect form, and then Earth gets destroyed. Nuke scenario.
Wow, man, these have all been kind of wild, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean that's why we love the fans for being as wild, because like I said, there's each of our minds is limited as far as how far out we're going, so we need the community to expand that. It's so good. It's so good.